All right, so we're going to get started lying on our backs and have your inflatable ball handy. We'll focus on some breath practices that will serve us in our isometric core. So let's just start lying on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Good morning, Doug. How are you?
I made it.
Yay! So we're going to be doing some focus on core, lower back, and balance. Anything you'd like to add to that?
Just the hip stuff.
Hip stuff. Okay, great. So if you can grab your inflatable ball just to have it handy, we're going to start lying on our back. Hey, Barbara, how are you?
Good.
Anything you'd like to focus on this morning?
Let's see.
So
You
I'll
know,
tell you, we have core, lower back, balance, and hips.
perfect.
Okay, great. All right, so we're going to start lying on our backs. Have your inflatable handy and take a moment to scan your body. Let's just start with your feet. Noticing if one foot is turned out or not. It can be interesting to just compare the 2 feet and whether the alignment, quite frequently, and this can come from the hips, quite frequently that our foot position, the two of them are different. And so just noticing that and making an adjustment, and this act of making an adjustment of a body part, the alignment without looking. We've mentioned before about how this helps to strengthen our proprioceptors, and that is a precursor to balance. And then also just noticing where the weight is on your feet. Again, most of us have a habitual tendency to maybe have more weight on the outer edge of the foot or the inner edge of the foot. And again, for balance, it can be a lot more accessible to notice these things when we're not trying to balance. So we're lying on our back. We could take the weight off of our feet completely. So we have a much friendlier environment to just notice what our patterns are. Jane, do you have anything you'd like to add? We have balance, core, lower back, and hips.
Oops.
What was that?
Great.
Laurel, did you just remind
So,
me of something?
no, I just repeated what you said.
Okay,
It's
great.
it's
Thank
all
you.
great for me. That's great.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go
So
on mute too.
okay, so we're starting on our back, and so we notice the alignment of our feet, and now let's just travel up the body, noticing the knees. Are they aligned over the ankles? And is one knee sort of turning in, or dropping out? And when we do these observations of our body patterns, one of the highest form of practice is not judging, just noticing and then experimenting with making adjustments and noticing how it shows up in your body. It's like so many habits that we may have. They've been established. Many things can contribute to our habits. And it can be a good idea to just evaluate these habits on occasion to just notice if they're serving you or not. Because they're a habit, a lot of times we do them without thinking. So it's good to just take pause and notice. And a big part of that is our habitual tendencies within our body. Okay, now let's come up to the back of the hips and the lower back area. And again, just notice, do you feel a difference in the right glute versus left glute in terms of, does one connect to the floor a little bit better? is there any holding patterns in one? Again, sometimes we favor, the right side of the body or the left side of the body, and there can be sort of residual contractions that we may not even be aware of unless we take this pause. And now notice the lower back. So just above the hip area, there's that natural arch. And let's just roll the hips forward, creating a more exaggerated arch. And then roll the hips back where you sort of squish out the arch. And just go back and forth. And again, this can be an interesting place to notice if one hip is rolling better or more freely than the other one. So notice, does the right side, when you do this, does it feel like it flows more like a free-flowing river? Or are there little obstacles that maybe the water, or in this case your hip, sort of clunks over? And then we'll pause in a neutral spine. So neutral spine is typically, you could slide your index finger in that space. And now notice the back of the ribs. Again, does one side connect more to the floor than the other? And with your next breath, can you inflate the ribs in 3 directions? So expanding upward, which is maybe the more obvious observation of the breath, but then also inflating out to the sides and even into the back of the ribs. And can you feel that breath creating a gentle stretch on those intercostal muscles that fall between the individual ribs? And now let's travel up to the upper back, the back of the shoulders. Do you notice a difference between the left and right shoulder? Maybe noticing, is one shoulder drawing up more towards the ear? Or noticing the back of the shoulder blades, does one relax a little bit more easily onto the floor? And we're just observing these like a little infant might observe their fingers and toes wiggling, just observing these very unique to you patterns. And then notice the arm bones. First, how they rest in the shoulder socket. And then noticing how they connect to the floor. Having the palms face up so that the arms can relax more completely. And then noticing the neck. Any difference in the 2 sides of the neck? And then the jaw, the cheeks, and the muscles around the eyes. And now let your attention travel back to the torso area, noticing the breath and inviting the breath to travel all the way down to the belly. Watching the ebb and flow and the rise and fall. And the breath is traveling in and out through the nose as much as possible. And just notice how long the in-breath is compared to how long the out-breath is. Noticing any challenges with breathing in or out through the nose. And if you find that you revert to breathing out through the mouth, you may want to speed up the breath. So the inhale, you don't hold it for so long. Because sometimes if you are breathing in and you hold the breath too long, there's a rush to get the breath out. And so we go to the mouth. So again, just noticing, chances are all of you are experiencing something subtly differently. And now we're going to add on to this breath. You breathe into the belly and then let it travel up to the ribs. And then you exhale ribs and then belly. And just repeat this. Find a pace that works for you. And a good indication that the pace is working for you is if you can maintain the breath in and out through the nose. And then we're going to add on a little breath retention if it feels comfortable. Next time you breathe in, pause. Exhale the breath completely. Hold the breath out, draw the belly button back, and imagine you're drawing it up underneath the rib cage. And then let the breath in. Repeat that. All right, and just return to your natural breath. And you're going to grab the inflatable ball. And we'll start with the right side. You're going to lift your right knee, or sorry, your right foot off the mat. And you're going to place the ball onto the right knee. Then you're going to take your right elbow and you're going to press your right elbow into the ball. Now, when you press the knee into the ball, that's your psoas. When you press the elbow into the ball, there you're getting more of the core muscles. So there's this balance between the two sides. Now, if by chance you're not feeling anything and you want to be feeling an engagement along the whole right side of the body, the back of the scapula, the obliques, if you're not feeling it, you could lift up and maybe use your hand. But that's only if you're not feeling it. So what we want to try to do here with this isometric is we want to try to engage those muscles, perhaps without lifting up. But again, if sometimes it takes a little bit more to encourage those muscles to turn on. Bless you. And then exhale, you just soften. So inhale, you press in. And then exhale, you soften. We'll just do that one more time. And you soften. Now, could everyone feel that? Something there? Just give me a little. What's that?
Definitely in my psoas.
Okay, so Doug, I would try to do more of the elbow into the knee. So do less psoas if you're feeling it um, more in the psoas. All right, so left side. So you have the ball on top of the left knee, and then you take the elbow into the ball, and the ball is creating some instability here. And then press. And what you could do is kind of go back and forth. Press the knee into the elbow and notice how you're going to feel that psoas. And then relax the knee and just press the elbow and notice what you feel. And you want to find balance between those two actions. And continue breathing.
Do you push off the right heel?
I'm not, no. I'm trying to activate mostly the left side of my body. So my right side, I'm not pressing into the foot. It's probably just a mild anchor. I mean, I do feel the right side, I do feel like the transverse abdominal muscles there, but I'm feeling, I'm shaking on my left side. And I guess I should have mentioned that if you're not feeling sort of that fatigue of the muscles, then you may want to lift up and do a little curl. Because again, it can take a little bit of training for these isometric actions because they're small and maybe not muscles that we're using regularly. And then just relax that. Both feet are on the ground. Let's just take a nice full body stretch. Squeeze the thighs together. And
Oh,
what was that?
that was me groaning.
Okay, nice. And then just stretch, a nice full body stretch. Now walk your feet to the left. Have your left hand grab the right wrist and then stretch into that half moon on the floor. And let's come back to the center. Walk the feet over to the right. Right hand grabs the left wrist. Nice side body stretch. And come back to center. And then draw the knees in towards you. Give them a little hug. Hands come on the knees and let's do those circles. Circling the knees away from each other. And just notice once again, left and right. How does the leg bone move in that hip socket? Does one move a little bit more fluidly than the other? And then reverse direction. And then you pause, extend the left leg, just hug the right knee in for a couple of breaths. Relax the lower back. And then we're just going to take a very quick sort of warming up the body, twist to the left. So not sort of your full deep spinal twist that we would do at the end. We will do it at the end that you'll hold longer. But here, since we're still just warming up, just a gentle twist. You come back to center and you switch sides. Take a moment here to relax the back. Watch the breath create the rise and fall. And then a gentle twist to the right. It feels good to extend the arm. Again, we did a bit of core work here. So this twist is just to kind of release any of those muscles that need a nice little morning stretch. All right, now we're going to just come up through seated. And we will come to table, but a little bit. We're going to do sort of a different variation of this. So again, you'll notice we're working a lot of the side body today. So we're going to come down onto our left forearm, and the right hand comes along the back. And your fist is right in the center, and you're going to let your head rest. And so you might want to just watch first before you drop down. So we're going to be doing some twists here, but these twists are very controlled. You want to try to keep your head and your tailbone in the same alignment. You're going to inhale, press into the forearm, and then you rotate. So I'm not going nearly as high as if I, let my body weight shift to my left. So here I'm twisting, I'm pressing into that left forearm. So I'm feeling a lot on the left side of my body. So this is more of a strengthener for the left side of the body than a twist for the right. So when you're ready, you can assume this position. The right arm is behind you. So similar to what we were doing when we're doing the leg lifts, it's sort of the side that's not moving, that's working. So press into that forearm. As you press into the forearm, feel the shoulder blade engage, and then you twist to the right, and you come back to the center. Root down and twist again, and come back to the center. We'll just do one more.
Is your head on your forearm?
So my head comes down to my fist for my starting position, and then it lifts up for the twist. So this is my resting position. Then I press down and I rise up. Is that clearer?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for the question. All right, and then we're just going to switch sides. So now the right forearm's on the ground, and we start with the left hand along the back of the body. So this is a nice shoulder opener. Maybe it comes all the way to the other hip. Just depending on the openness of the shoulder area. All right, so press into the right forearm and you twist. And then you come back to center and the forehead rests on the hand. Inhale, you press. So when you press into the forearm, then the forehead lifts off the hand and then you spin. And then you come back, and we'll just do one more. Press into the forearm, twist, and come back to center. And now come into your table pose, and let's just do a couple of cat and cows here to kind of realign the spine after all that twisting. Extend the left leg back and just do a little press and release here. Stretching the calf, the hamstring, getting rid of any stickiness in that hip joint. And then on your inhale, press into the hands, engage the core. So belly button draws back and up. Float the left foot off the mat. All right, so similar to our twists, right hand presses in, the top of the right foot pressing in, the right knee presses in, and then the left side of the body comes up. It twists, and then you lower down. So we've done this before. The action is coming from the right hip. The left leg is just the weight that's being lifted.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do 5 of these. Notice where you're feeling this, which muscles are activating. After 5, you pause. And let's extend the right leg back. You have your press and release. All right. Engage the core. Right leg lifts. Press into the left hand, the top of the left foot. And then the left side of the body lifts the right side up. And then it lowers down. And do that 5 times. And you want to be feeling this in the lower core. And then you pause. Back to your table. And then either downward dog or child's pose. Invite some just sort of gentle, organic, rhythmic actions to stretch whatever might need to be stretched. We'll meet up at the back of the mat in a bent knee forward fold. Your gaze is down towards the mat. You can relax the neck and the head. Check out the feet. Check out the alignment of the feet and make adjustments. Hands come onto the hips and inhale, you rise in gentle back bend. And let's just roll out the shoulders here. Once again, just noticing how the shoulders roll. And so we're at the back of the mat. Gaze straight forward. Press into this left leg. Keeping the hips level. Use the core, use the psoas, lift that right leg up. Step it forward. Press into the right leg. Use the core to lift the left leg up. And step it forward. Right leg lifts. Notice the slower you do this, the more challenging it is. And left leg lifts. And lower it down. All right, let's do some warm up for the legs before we do those standing balance and leg strengtheners. Inhale, reach the arms up, take a gentle back bend. Exhale, fold half. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Inhale, take your chair pose, Utkatasana. Can you feel your core engage? Weight on the heels. Neck is relaxed. Arms where they feel comfortable. Then inhale, rise, gentle back bend. Exhale, release the hands to the sides. Step the right leg back for warrior one. Hips facing forward. You're going to straighten the knee and then bend it. Arms can rise and then they flow with the breath. So you lower the arm as the leg straightens. The arm rises as the knee bends. And just do that a couple more times. Gaze straight forward. And then you pause. Pause in your warrior one. Now you're welcome to keep this here. You can challenge your balance by letting the gaze come to the ceiling. And then letting the gaze travel along the ceiling so you come into a deeper back bend. That's going to challenge the balance. Keep pressing into that left foot. Press through the back knee so you're powering up that back leg. And then inhale, release out of that. Lower the hands to the block or maybe a chair or piece of furniture. Float the back leg up. Now this is optional. This is what we did in table pose. On your inhale, you're going to press into the left leg and it's going to lift the right side of your body up, the right hip. And then you lower down just 3 times. You inhale, you root to engage and lift. And then you lower. A total of 3. And then you lower that right leg to meet. Inhale, you rise. Gentle back bend. Exhale, fold forward. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Oh, sorry, press into the blocks, nice long spine. And then step the left leg back for warrior 1. And then you straighten the knee and bend it. You add the arm when you're ready. And again, this rhythmic vinyasa, you're coming in and out of the pose to ready the muscles for a longer hold. Also warming up those joints. All of this in preparation for longer holds. You pause in your warrior 1. So you're welcome to stay right here. If you'd like to take this into a deeper back bend, gaze comes towards the ceiling. So first the eyes go up. And then you begin to track your gaze along the ceiling. And it can be interesting to notice if you go further back on one side than the other. You keep that front knee bent, keep weighted that front foot. When you're ready, you release. Hands come to the block or chair. And the back leg, option to lift. And then again, you press in and the right leg is lifting the left hip up. And then you lower 2 times. And you lower that left leg to the right. And you'll rise up, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Right leg steps back for a knee down lunge. So take your time getting here. Maybe take some poses. Coming into table if you want to transition. Then begin lengthening the front leg. And again, it's nice when we first start to move the blocks with you. This is a really nice hip mobilizer. Nice hamstring stretch. Also warming up the spine and the shoulders here. So as you do this, as you inhale and come forward, slide the shoulder blades down the back. Next time the knee's bent, you pause and decide if lifting that back knee works for you. And we'll repeat. And knee down, you're going to get different muscles than when you lift the knee up. And a gentle reminder to just notice the neck. Sometimes the neck can sort of get into these patterns where we're holding it steady and we're engaging those muscles then when we don't have to. So let the head and neck be fluid. Next time, the knees bent, pause here, plant your right hand, getting ready for a twist. All right, so we're just gonna do the traditional twist. You'll notice you'll go deeper than the restricted one we did. Inhale, press into the right arm, twist to the left. If that back knee is lifted, keep pressing through all 5 toes. Exhale, come back to the center. Lower the back knee and take the front knee back to meet it. Let's stand on the knees, toes are curled under. It's gonna be a nice stretch for the backs of the bottoms of the feet. And we'll just do a little lean back here. Nice long spine, shoulders rolling onto the back of the body. And then use your core to come up. Let's come into Sphinx pose. So you're on your forearms. Now, if this doesn't feel good, so I think we did this before and you had the ball. Actually, let's put the ball underneath the sternum for this pose. And your arms are crossed in front of you. And you could let your forehead rest on the back of the hands. Breathe into the belly. Tighten the belly. Press into the forearms and the elbows. Imagine you're drawing the elbows back towards the hips. And then exhale, meet. Sorry, exhale, release. We're going to do that 2 more times. Breathe into the belly. Hold the breath. Press in forearms and elbows, traction them to the hips. And then exhale, release. And do the last one at your own pace. Nice. Now you can slide that ball away from you. Come into your Sphinx pose. Now, if this bothers you, you bring that ball right back. Once again, think about drawing the elbows back towards the hips, stretching the sternum, the collarbones towards the wall in front of you. The neck is long. You're welcome to stay here, or you turn the toes under, lift the knees, the thighs, maybe the hips up into a forearm plank. Wherever you are, just watch your body curiously. Which muscles are engaging? Which ones are over-engaging? Release all the way down and bend the knees and let them just flow from side to side. Release down, press up to table, either downward dog or child's pose. Again, invite intuitive, wave-like actions through the body. We'll meet up in table when you're ready. Hands come to the blocks. And you step your right foot forward for your low lunge. And you just begin to flow in and out of it. Maybe using the blocks as the muscles warm up. And so you notice the sensations on the lower body, but also notice the upper body. Notice the shoulders, the upper back, the lower back, the neck. the jaw. So much going on in this movement. All right, next time the knees bent, you pause. It's a good idea. You lift the knee. And continue to flow. A couple of things here. You want to make sure that the knee's directed towards the second and third toe. That back leg is active. You want to try to press through all 5 toes. There is a tendency to maybe lift the pinky side up so you're rolling towards the big toe side. So you're not getting a thorough stretch through the whole sort of sole of the foot. All right, next time the knee's bent, you pause and you set up. I like to put a block for my hand on the inside of that foot. And on your inhale, you begin to twist to the right. As you twist, just check in with the legs. Knee is still facing second and third toe. You're still pressing through all 5 toes. The back of the knee is straight. There's a tendency for it to kind of bend here. See if you can press through the back of the knee. Exhale, you come back to the center. And come back to your table pose. Let's grab that ball again, placing it on the sternum. You start on your forearms and we did this before. Allow the ball to sort of roll from left to right. Our pectoralis muscles can get really, really tight. And this ball, it's soft. So you decide how much pressure to put on it. And you can also, hang out like this. This is a nice option as well. Couple more breaths with this. And then you can remove the ball, arms to your side, forehead to the mat. So these are some really great back strengthening movements. On your inhale, press into the front of the hips. Reach out through the toes, so you're stretching long. And then float the legs up. They're hugging towards each other. The inner thighs are drawing towards each other. And maybe you lift the forehead off the floor, but you keep your gaze looking down. You're not looking in front of you. That could cause discomfort in the neck. Maybe the arms lift up too. Now, there's a strong tendency to breathe through the mouth because this is probably one of the most challenging positions to breathe. So you may need to pick up your pace of breath so that you can keep it going smoothly through the nose. When you're ready, release down and add that windshield wiping action. And lower that down. And then we're just going to spin onto our backs with the ball. And I want to just make sure we revisit this before we have our early exiters. That same action that we did early on, we're going to start with the right side. I'm just going to lift up. Actually, we're going to do, the inside first. So you have the ball in the left hand and you have it pressing into the inside of the right knee.
The inside of the right knee.
Yeah. So the ball's in the left hand and you're pressing into the inside of the right knee, and then have the right knee pressing into the ball. So again, it's an isometric. And there's a little bit of a press and release. So inhale, you press, and then exhale, soft. Does anyone have any questions on this? I think the angle might be better if I do it like this. All right, now we're going to switch to the other angle. So the ball goes on the top of the knee, or where the thigh meets the knee, and then the right elbow goes on the ball. So here we've just switched. Can you see here? The ball is on top of the thigh, and now my knee is pressing into the, sorry, my elbow is pressing into the ball. This is what we did in the beginning.
The ball on the top of the knee.
Yeah, ball's on the top of the knee. Let me just come see. Does everybody have this? Has everyone got this? Janet, that looks great. Fabulous. And then experiment here with pressing a little bit more of the leg into the ball and notice which muscles turn on.
Mm-hmm.
And then relax the leg and just press the elbow into it and notice which muscles turn on. And then see if you can balance between the two of them. Now, if you're not feeling sort of a little quaking in there, you can take your left hand behind your head and lift up. And sometimes that can activate the muscles if they're not turning on.
Mm.
And just notice how this feels compared to when you did that, before all the other stuff that we did. And then lower it down. All right, any observations?
It's hard.
Yeah. And yeah.
It's just,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
nothing. It's just it's challenging.
Yeah,
It's
and
good.
that's where you're
I like
getting
it.
that
I like
shaking. And it doesn't look like you're doing much.
Right.
All right, lift the left leg up and the ball goes to the inside of that left knee. So the right arm is straight and you're pressing the ball into the knee. And then the knee presses into the ball. So again, we're looking for that little bit of engagement on the left side of the obliques and the left side of the, just around the belly area. Now you're going to feel something, Doug asked earlier, are you pressing into the right foot? And I mean, I guess you could. And if you do press into the right foot, then you feel a little bit more engagement on the right. You're going to feel a little something on the right, whether you press into the foot or not, but most of the action is on the left side. All right, and now we're going to take the ball on top of the left knee, and then the elbow goes on the ball. And here the right hand is free. Maybe you're going to put it behind your head if you want to lift up. So let's try first. Just press the knee into the elbow, or I'm sorry, into the ball. And then press the elbow into the ball. And then they both sort of press. They're trying to squish the ball. And maybe just notice what your tendency is in terms of which direction you have a tendency to activate more. And then notice your jaw. See if you can relax your jaw. Sometimes there's a tendency to clench the jaw. And the breath. Observe the breath. And then we release that. And let's take our feet down. Let's do a little stretch on the front of the hips while we're here. A little bridge pose. So pressing into the feet. Lift the hips up.
That feels very good after the last move.
Good, yeah. So just kind of hang out here as, bridge pose can be, to strengthen the glutes or strengthen the hamstrings. Here, let's just use it as a counter stretch for all of that sort of hip flexion. It can be fun to just press into the heels here. You could even lift the toes up and just notice how that changes the muscles that you feel activate.
Yeah.
Now imagine that you have that inflatable ball in between your thighs and you're spinning your thighs inward. And then release down. Let's just draw the knees in towards each other and make some circles with the knees. This time we're going to keep them together just to sort of massage out the lower back. Let's take it in the other direction. And then feet face up towards the ceiling, knees are bent. So we're coming into a happy baby. Now, for many people, it feels better to have the hands, on the inside of the knees or the insides of the shins. If when you reach for, the inner arch or the balls of the feet, if the lower back comes off the floor, you want to try to bring it back to the floor. And if that doesn't work, then slide your hands down your leg because you want to keep the lower back on the floor. And then you can just do a little rock here. So again, good for the hips, good for the hamstrings. Maybe a nice shoulder stretch too. And when you feel complete with that, we're going to come to standing. And you'll need something to sit on, a piece of furniture. Maybe I'll see if I have something to bring this closer. See how this works. So some of you may remember this. It's been a little while since we've done it. But this is great for balance. It's also great to highlight, again, imbalances in the two sides of the body.
I don't have a piece of furniture in here.
Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate with the furniture and then I'm going to demonstrate without the furniture. To
Okay,
give you a heads up, Doug, it's going to be a lot more challenging, but I think you can do it.
okay.
All right, so if you're sitting in your furniture, you're going to start by pressing into the left foot and you're on the ball of the right. So Doug, you can try doing this first, just you're standing up. I'm making this up on the fly, how to do it without furniture. So just give me a little bit of space to do that. All right, so you're going to press into the left foot and you're going to rise up. You could alternatively not have the right leg on the ground. You could have it on the ground while you sit, but lift it up as you stand. So play around with that. Now, for no furniture, I think this is what we're going to have to do, Doug. You're just going to bend the knee and then rise. I think these are called pistol squats. Is that working for you, Doug?
It's hard for me to squat too low.
Yeah, so you're not going to squat too low. And the other thing is you may want to hold on to the wall too. But I think we've probably done enough here. Let's take a seat if you have a seat. If you don't, Doug, just have both feet on the floor. And I want to check in. How was that for you guys?
Good.
Okay. All right, now we'll do the other side, which again can be interesting to notice the differences. All right, so right foot, and start by just being on the ball of the left. You're just kind of easing the body into, you're just working the right leg. So you're toning the right leg. All right, I'm going to expect a little bit more from you. And then maybe the left leg comes up. Maybe it's up when you stand, but you put it down when you sit. Or maybe it's up when you sit, but you put it down when you stand. All right, so Doug, same thing. You're standing up. You're going to bend the knee, lift the leg out, stand up. And you may, again, it's helpful if you hold on to the wall with this. You want to be mindful of the tracking of the knee. And then take a break. Have a seat. All right, so if you have a piece of furniture, just cross the right ankle over. Doug, if you're standing up, you can do this standing at the wall, or you could do it lying on the floor. We're just going to do this briefly, and then we're going to head to the floor for stretching. So just a little sort of pigeon variation. Flex the right foot. And then your hands can be on the right knee, right shin, and then just begin to flex forward a little bit. Whenever you're ready, you can do the other side. So first, we just do upright here, maybe even some little movements, just to, again, let the joint know we're inviting more range of motion to it. See if it accepts your invitation. And then maybe you begin to flex forward. And again, this can be really interesting to notice the difference in the two sides. Breathing in and out through the nose. And make your way. All right. So we're going to come to the floor. And I know Nan and Laurel, you guys are going to be heading out shortly. If you have a moment to just come onto the floor with us. But also if you've got to go, certainly understand. So we're on the floor. Let's grab our strap. Take a moment once you land here. And do just a speed scan. Noticing how your feet connect to the floor, traveling up the body. Noticing any difference from when you started your practice in terms of how the body feels against the floor. When you're ready, grab your top. And this goes just in front of the heel, and you extend it long. Up to the ceiling. And if you like CLRL, you can extend the left leg long. So arms are straight. And you're pressing the leg into the tie. So you're not pulling the leg. You're just pressing, you're just inviting length. You're not trying to force a stretch. Tie's in the right hand, and you'll release that right leg out to the right. The breath is in and out through the nose. Inhale back through center. And you can let that leg come across the body, your spinal twist. Inhale back up through center. Bend the knee, give it a little hug. And focus on relaxing the muscles of the lower back. Relax the neck. Relax the shoulders. And then let that right knee come across the body. So this is what we did in the beginning. You could place something underneath that knee. And this one, we're going to just allow our body to sort of marinate here for a little bit longer. Notice any holding holding patterns in the body. And then see if you can soften. Use the exhale. And if the body part doesn't soften with the exhale, maybe you make a slight adjustment, move it so that you lessen how deep the stretch is in that area. Or maybe you put a prop. Like if the shoulder's not relaxing, maybe you put the ball under it, or maybe a rolled up blanket, or your mat rolled up. And then inhale back to the center, give the knee a little hug. On your exhale, extend the right leg long, extend the arms long overhead, full deep breath. Rebend both knees. And the tie comes just in front of the left heel. And it extends up towards the ceiling. And again, this is a lengthening more than it is a stretching. When you're ready, you can release that left leg out to the left. Inhale through center and then across the body. Come back to center. Hug the knee, remove the tie. Take it across your body. And again, just notice how this feels compared to the initial experience of this pose. And noticing there's an area of your body that's holding some resistance. See if you can soften it, or maybe use a prop. And then the inhale brings you back to the center and you hug the knee. Draw the right knee in to meet it and make some hip circles by rotating the knees away from each other. In reverse direction. And then let the feet come to the ground, and you can use your blocks, or you could use a ball to slide under the tailbone. You start with your restorative bridge pose. Maybe just visualizing this little assist of the blood flowing to your heart. And just lifting the hips above the heart can help to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system mode. Just notice, notice your nervous system, any shift there. It's a bit more subtle than muscles. And you're welcome to stay here, or maybe you extend the legs up. And now I'm just using the ball because my blocks are propping up the laptop. If you use the ball, you're gonna be challenging your core. It's gonna be a little less relaxing, but just notice what your body, knowing that we're heading towards Shavasana, notice what would serve your body. Do you need one last little core challenge, or do you need a little bit more coaxing of the nervous system into pre-Shavasana? All right, whenever you're ready, you can begin to move into Shavasana. And let's revisit that initial body scan. Noticing, starting with the feet, does one foot flop out to the side? And here we're not necessarily going to try to change anything. We're just observing. When we offer relaxation to our body, what position does it take? And just noticing the legs and the contact points between the legs and the floor. And invite those areas of contact to really surrender and allow the floor to support them. So feel your calves just melt. respecting that space behind the knees that's there. And feeling the backs of the thighs melt. Allow the glutes to soften, relax, let go. And if you have something underneath your knees, you might notice the lower back is in contact with the floor. If the legs are extended, there's going to be that just natural arch. Noticing the back of the ribs, left and right. And noticing the shoulders. Inviting softness anywhere you notice holding patterns. Notice the arms. Can you invite them to be any amount heavier? Noticing the neck, inviting softness, releasing tension. And notice the jaw. If you allow your tongue to rest behind the upper teeth, does that allow the jaw to relax any amount more? Relax the muscles along the cheeks, around the eyes, and the forehead. And then rest in stillness, allowing the body to integrate all the movements and sensations you experienced. Allow your next breath to be a little longer, a little deeper. And invite gentle movements. When you're ready, gently roll to your side and enjoy a pause here. A moment to just notice any changes in your breath, in your nervous system. When you're ready, you can make your way up to seated. I invite you to join me in a single gentle. Take a deep breath in. Stay. Thanks for joining me.